Hi, this demonstration illustrates how to feed translation existing and verified into the Microsoft Translator engine. First, let's try to do a query in English and get the machine translation result in French from Microsoft Translator. We will use tcal for this, and the command line is tcal-q, the sentence to translate, in this case the landscape is perpetually changing, the -ms option to query Microsoft Translator, and a configuration file that contains your application ID. Once you run this command, you can see that the translation you're getting is "Le paysage est perpétuellement changeant." It's not a bad translation, but imagine that you want to get a better one or a different one. Here I have a TMX file that I would like to feed back completely into the engine of the Microsoft Translator. And that TMX file contains the same sentence I just queried. The landscape is perpetually changing, but the translation is slightly different. To do this, we will use Rainbow and drop the TMX file into the first tab, which contains the list of the input file that you want to feed into the machine translation system. You will need to specify the source language as well as the target language. Once you have done that, go to the Utilities menu and select Edit or Execute Pipeline. A pipeline is a set of steps that you can process. You can add those steps using the Add Step dialog. The first step that we are going to use here is simply extract the data from the TMX file and put them into a common format that is used by the following steps. The next step, the Microsoft Batch Submission, is the one that will update the translator engine on the side of the Microsoft website. You have to provide your application ID as well as a default rating. This value is important because if it's above 5, it will take precedence over the default machine translation provided by Microsoft. In this case, let's put it to 6. Once you have defined that, you can just execute the process. Now if you go back to tcal and run the same command line, you will get a different translation. In this case, le paysage change constamment, which corresponds to the translation you had in the TMX file.